Good evening, everybody. It's Thursday, financial night, financial health night. So on Thursday, we do financial health. I have to recap again because somebody asked, I don't know what you do when you do it. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I'll do mentoring, interviews, or coaching. So that's what you have to remember. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it could be an interview, it could be coaching, or it could be mentoring. So it's really what comes my way. I try to make sure that I have that and I let you guys know about it. So when you find out it's about that, then you can do it. Now, Thursday night is all about financial health. Financial health, giving you tips and tricks and ideas and know-how. You can ask me a question, I'll answer those questions. I am the creator of the 5 Pillars of Prosperity. So that's on my YouTube channel, Tessa-Marie. If you're interested, you can check it out and subscribe. That is a nice thing to do. I'll be posting a video on there tomorrow, all about it and how it works. And then on Friday, it's Ask a Question. Any question you want to ask, you ask me that question on Friday night. So this is what I do. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, interviews, mentoring, or coaching. And that's what we do. I do. Thursday, it's all about financial. Hi, Susie. And that is one thing that we will do all the time. And Thursday night, like tonight, is financial health. If you have a question, you can DM me and I will answer that question, even now, if you put it in there, because it's all about finances. So on Thursday night. And on Friday night, all I do is any question on any subject, because I coach life skills. I coach on the 5 Pillars of Prosperity, which are tied into your life skills and what you do. So that is one of the things that you have to remember. So tonight, last week, we did something on credit cards, and I got some requests that we wanted to be a little bit more good about it. So clear, because apparently they didn't understand the trick about paying your credit card and how you and when you use your credit card. So if you happen to have your statement, or if you can download it and have it on so that you can able to say it, it would be nice. So what it is with the credit cards is that when you have a credit card payment, for example, so let's say I looked at a credit card I had. I spent $551 during December on this particular credit card. I pay it off in full every month. So no matter what I spend, I'm able to pay it off. Now, not everybody does that. Some people sometimes have a credit card and they have to carry a balance. And if you carry a balance, then you're not able to pay it off every month. So you pay the minimum or you pay what you can. So this now, of course, gives you a larger amount every month to pay. But what you have to realize, of course, is this. If you have a credit card balance and you only pay the minimum, you are paying interest on the interest. So after 30 days, that is the grace period. Some are 27, but after 30 days, your interest begins to calculate on what you owe. So when you get your statement, if you pay everything off, then you pay it off before interest is calculated. So you have a date that will say payment is due on this date. That does not mean that is the date you make the payment on. That is the date they expect to. Sorry, Ezra, I cannot answer you. Ezra, I'm unable to answer you. I'm doing the video. So anyway, so that is one of the things. So for example, I'll go back there again. If you have a balance and you get your statement and your statement is $400, if you pay it off before that date, that due date is not the date you do it. It's not the date you do the payment on your stuff. That is not the date. You have to do that payment 2 or 3 days before, because it has to go from your bank to their bank. And nowadays, yes, it happens quicker. But just in case there is a glitch and something happens, if you are that 1 day late, so if your payment is due on the 10th and you pay on the 11th, they get it on the 12th, they're going to say, even if your bank sent it to them on the 11th, they're going to say you're 31 days late and you will charge interest on the whole amount for 31 days, and they will report it to the credit bureau that you're 31 days late. You're not 1 day late. You're never 1 day late. So every 30 days, it is supposed to be paid on time, the date they gave you. 1 day later, it's calculated as 31 days. 2 days later, 32 days. And interest is calculated on that full amount. So if you don't pay that full amount off, you're going to have interest calculated on the interest. So let's just say, because it's 21% nowadays, 22% in some cases. So you're $400 and you have $40 worth of interest. Let's just use that number. So if you have $40 worth of interest on that credit card, one of the things you're going to find, your balance, if you pay $10, will maybe be $498, and the other $8 goes towards interest. But you're still paying interest on the interest. So now your balance becomes $438. So it's like you paid nothing. It's like $2 you paid of that $400, and now you owe more than you owed last month. So, and if you purchase more things, that gets calculated. Now, interest is always paid on the interest, and that's why it's called compounding interest. It makes you pay more money. So you have to make sure when you're using your credit card, you only choose what you can pay. Shop for what you can pay at the end of the month. Now, many of my friends have more disposable income than their children. And sometimes they say it in such a flippant manner. Like they say, oh, I buy everything on my credit card and I pay it off in full at the end of the month. Now, a younger person who has a mortgage or who has other commitments cannot pay a lot of money on a credit card. But when they hear that and they're thinking they will get, what do you call it, points, they'll get payback. And they say, the parents say it in such a, as if it's manna from heaven. It's a free gift. But that is because they are able to spend $2,000 paying for all kinds of household things, and then at the end of the month, they just pay it off, and they get points, and they get cash back, and everybody's happy. A young person who will shop for $500, but can really only pay $100, is not going to get any cash back. It will not benefit them. No matter how much cash back they get, it will not be enough to cover the interest on that payment, on that total that's left. So it's not good for everybody. That is only good if you're paying off the full amount and every month, and you're using the bank instead of the bank using you. So if you're only able to shop and pay off $100, then that's all you do. When your financial situation changes, like your parents who are doing everything they can on a credit card and boldly pay it off in full at the end of the month because they have the disposable income, whereas a younger couple or a single person does not have that disposable income. So don't fall with that. Find out what is best for you. And that is one of the things about this credit card. Now, the big thing that we talked about last week, and a lot of people didn't get it. For example, remember I said I had $551 on my credit card over Christmas, and I paid it off. But in very tiny print, the print is so small. If you can imagine, it's like number 6 print. If you put when you're working on your computer, on your Word or on Pages, and you bring your typing strokes to number 6, you know how tiny that is. Right at the bottom, or sometimes at the top of your statement, in that tiny print, you will find those words. And those words tell you, for example, I had a balance of $551.06. And if I paid $12.12, this was my minimum payment on $551.06, and if I only paid the minimum payment at an interest rate of 20.97%, it would take me for $551 to begin with 11 years and 1 month to pay it off. Now, this is the law. The government has insisted that they put this right on the credit card. But it is there. So the government cannot tell them you didn't put it. It is there. It's just that you and I and all the people who are using credit cards don't see it. And because you don't see it, you're not aware of it. No, that is important. Because if you think by paying the $10 or $12 every month that it's okay, fine, your credit will remain good. But you will be owing them, it will take you 11 years and 1 month to pay $551.06. That is like highway robbery, but it's their money. You knew when you borrowed the money from them, you had to pay it back. So you have to be aware of those things. These are the little things you have to do. So I looked at it and I thought, I better explain that again. So because you're paying that $12 in my case and 12 cents, my credit remains good because I'm paying the minimum payment. My credit is great. But the minute you stop paying that minimum payment, or the minimum payment is all you're doing, but you have used up all of your credit, the bank loves you, they're your friends, right? So what they want you to do is to borrow more money. So they increase now your limit. So if you had a limit of $1,000 and you have maxed your card and you're paying the minimum payment every month, you are in good credit standing with your bank. So what they will do, the computer will tell them, hi Yoko, the computer will tell them, she is a good customer. She's paying the minimum payment. It's going to take her 11 years and 1 month to pay $551.06, but she's a good customer because we are making tons of money from her. So why don't we increase her card by another $1,000? So the hole gets deeper. Remember I said last week, a credit card is like you standing in a hole and you're digging it while you're in it. So you're moving your feet, you're digging it, you're tossing the dirt off, but eventually you won't be able to come out because the hole you have dug is way too deep. You're over your head. You cannot get out of that hole. So the bank loves you because you're paying the minimum payment. Your credit rating is fine. You have no late payments and you're paying that. You know, so what you have to remember, I want you to make sure you find that and work on it. Watch what you're paying. Tiny print, number 6. It is so small. On my credit card, it was right below where they're telling me what my balance was, how much I owe them. You know, but yeah, okay, I got that. So right there at the bottom, they're telling me in small print, number 6, if you pay $12.12 every month on that $551, it is going to take you, Miss Shillingford, 11 years and 1 month to pay off $551. So if I max that card out, my payment might be $25, and everybody says, oh, you can pay $25, it's easy. Yes, it is, but it's going to take you 22 years to pay it off. And that is how people get in more debt. And revolving debt prevents you from buying a house. Revolving debt prevents you from getting any kind of amazing credit to purchase your home. So you never actually make money. So what you have to remember is not pay a minimum. Shop and spend on a credit card what you know you can pay off in full every month. So one of the things I wanted to share with you again is that, as I said last week, the bank is not your friend. It's a business they're running. Now, there's another thing that is fabulous if you can pay your credit card debt properly. If you manage when you should spend your money, when you should use a credit card. So there is going to say something, your statement period. That is what it is called. So your statement period on your statement is way at the top. The print is not small, maybe 12. So because they don't mind that you see it, so they put it as number 12. So that's nice. So you can see that. And what it does for you is that it tells you the period the statement is made, when you shopped and when you ended shopping, and how much you owe. So it was the 28th of December to the 27th of January. So that was the full amount from the 28th of December to January 27th. And that is your statement period. Now, the trick is, and not too many people know that, let's say you have to pay certain things, like everybody is paying a lot of their utilities on their credit card. So you know what you do? You insist with the utility company or your Netflix or your Prime or all these type of things, that your insurance, all of these type of things. You let them know that you want them to charge you, take it out of your account at the 29th, the 30th, the 31st, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th, and the 5th. So you give them 7 to 8 days is the best time to shop after your statement date, the last date. So you'll notice December 28th, January 27th. So you can tell anybody who's automatically taking money from your credit card, don't take it until the 29th of the month, and they can go until the 7th or the 8th of the month and no more. So this is what happens. When you do that, you literally have 42 days before this bill comes to your door. 42 days. You know why? You have the 30-day. Remember, it started on the 29th. So that's 30 days, right? Before the bill is created. They give you a 10-day period before you receive the bill and 10 days again before you pay the bill. So there is 42 days, really. So what I always recommend to people to do, if you get paid every 2 weeks or you get paid every week, and you know you have spent $500, instead of trying to pay that $500 from one of your checks, from the minute you get the next check after the 29th of January, for example, you pay them, you divide it by 4. So you pay 500 by 4, you're paying 125 this payday, 125 towards the credit card next payday, and you keep doing that. By the time the actual bill comes to you, you have already paid them off. No interest is calculated. So this is important. I wish I had a way to show you on a whiteboard, but I don't know how to do this. So you take your statement date says December 28 to January 27, or vice 28 to 29. So it's those days. That's what the total is. But 2 weeks later, you get paid. So you take 1/4 of what you owe them and you pay them. 2 more weeks, another quarter. That's just 4 weeks. 2 more weeks, another quarter. That is just 6 weeks, right? But you actually have over 42 days. So by the time your bill comes and you have the period to pay, all you might owe them is $125, which you know you can manage. So that way, you don't require to pay. You just don't require to pay them any more money. So think of it. Look at your credit card bill. At the top, statement date, right at the top. It will give you December to January. This is the one you're going to get right now. So the date in this month, after that date, that is when you shop. After January date, this is when you shop for about 7 days. Some people can stretch it to 10, but I like 7 days. And that gives you time, so you tell all Netflix, you tell Prime, you tell all this insurance, whatever these people who are taking money on your credit card for, tell them take it after the 29th of the month, and you insist and say no, and don't take anything past the 7th of the next month. So the 29th of January to the 7th of February, you shop and you pay bills through this credit card. Then immediately you divide that total by the amount of pay periods you have in about 42 days, and I think you have 3 or 4 of them. Sometimes it might even be close to 49 days. And you count that and you divide it by 5 weeks and you pay that amount of 4 weeks. But it's always a minimum of 4 pay periods. 1 week's 4 pay periods, 7 weeks. So you do that. And when you do that, by the time the bill actually arrives, you have already made 2 or 3 payments. It won't show on the bill, But you can check it online and you will see it. And next time you get the bill, you will notice you have paid it and you have no money to owe them, no interest. So you shop from after your billing date for 7 to 8 days. I don't like to go to 10 because you might get carried away. And the people who are doing the services for you, like the credit card company, you can tell them, this is what I want to pay. This is when I want to pay those bills. And they will take that payment. Remember, Netflix will say, okay, so no, that is when it's better to take it off my credit card. They'll do it. Rogers will do it. The phone company will. All they want is their money. And if you give them a period at the end of the month to the beginning of the other month for about 7 days, they're fine with that. And that's how you make sure you manage it. And you will never pay interest. Never, ever pay interest on your credit card if you follow that. But don't go crazy and spend more than you can pay. The credit card is not an emergency account. It's not your money. You don't owe them. They're not going to give you a break on it. There's no break. So the trick tonight is make sure you know that if you pay the minimum payment on $551, it will take you 11 years and 1 month to pay. That is just crazy. You will have good credit. The credit will be amazing. But they love you and they will offer you more credit and they'll give you more credit. They will never offer me credit because I pay them off every month. They don't make any money from me. I have to go to them and say to them, I want more. But when it comes to credit cards and lines of credit, I just run away from them like wild dogs are after me. Because it's like digging a hole and trying to be in the hole while you're digging it. Eventually, it will be too deep for you to climb out of. And that is what happens with your credit card. And that is what I want you guys to know. And I hope I explained it properly for you. Don't forget that $500, $551 will take you 11 months and 11 years and 1 month to pay it off if you pay $12.12 a month. That's what they told me. It's right on my credit card in tiny, tiny print. They don't want you to know that. If you know that, you'd say, oh my God, really? I have to pay this off. They don't want that because they're making money on you all the time. Compound interest is how they get paid, and you have to manage that and make sure that you're not giving them more than you're supposed to give them. And use your credit card after your statement date for 7 days or so. Don't go beyond 10. I don't even like to mention 10. And make sure every payday you divide what you use the credit card for the next 4 paydays, and you pay them that amount. Because by the time you get this credit card, it will be 7 weeks before your payment is due. Another thing I mentioned at the beginning, and a few of you would hear, is this. If your due date for your payment is today, and you pay it today, and they get it tomorrow, you're late. You're 31 days late. That today's date, they want it in their account. It has to be already there. Another thing you have to know, Saturday after 6 p.m., although the world is open 7 days a week, after 6 p.m. on Friday, the date is Monday. The next business date is Monday. Do you understand that? So if you sit at home on Friday night having a glass of wine, paying your bills, on Friday after 6, it will actually tell you that it will be the next business day, which is Monday. So if it was due on Friday and you paid it Friday at 9 o'clock, it's late. Because they might not receive it until Tuesday or Wednesday, although it's done electronically. And they will send it back to you. There is no human to talk to. It's a computer. It only gets understand numbers and words. It does not have compassion or empathy. So when you get your credit report and all of a sudden you said, but last month I had 800, how come I'm down to 642? Look at the report carefully and see how many times your various credit accounts were late. and it's 1 day late, it's not 1 day late, it's 31 days late. If it was due today and you paid it tomorrow, it is 31 days late. There is no such thing as 1 day late, because yes, today the money, they had to have the money in their hand, in their account, not from you to your bank, from your bank to them before today. So when your payment date falls on a Saturday or a Sunday, pay it on a Thursday. When your payment date falls on Saturday or Sunday, the due date, pay it on the Thursday, not on Monday, not Friday night after 6. I don't do it on, I don't pay mine on Friday. I pay it the Thursday. So you look at the due date, and if the due date is Saturday or Sunday, pay it Thursday. Don't pay it Friday, and certainly, most certainly, don't pay it Saturday or Sunday. They're not business days. They're not considered business days. So that is the 3 things about the credit card. Those things, and the same thing applies to a line of credit. If you pay the minimum and you max your card out, and you've been paying the minimum and never late religiously, they're going to give you more credit. Because you know what they call you? They call you a cash cow. We call you a cash cow. It's like the farmer who has a cow and he knows he can milk it and he will get cash every day. So that's what they call you, a cash cow. They call you a cash cow because they know they can depend on you to send you $12, but they know in the long run they're going to make $40 every month on you. The interest rate is like 21%. They are just going up. So there is a lot to learn about interest rates. And when you hear, that is something people have to put in the back of their mind. We all hear on the news, oh, the bank has kept their rates the same. The rates are not going up, or the bank has dropped their rates. My dear, that does not affect a credit card. Credit cards rate don't drop when the prime rate drops. When the feds drop their rate, when the Bank of Canada drops their rate, credit cards rate don't drop. The rate they set only affects mortgages that are variable. Our credit card rate is stuck to whatever it is. That is what it is. I work for the bank, so I have a 5% credit rate, but that is what the rate they give to employees and retirees. I don't use it. But there was a card I took for points because I shop there often, and that one is not from my bank where I work. It's 21%. But whatever I charge, I make sure I am aware and I pay it off. So that is what you must remember. The credit card has to be paid off in full, and it will ruin your credit. You might think it's fun, that it's great and your credit is 642. It's not. Because no, you have to learn to repair it and you have to be aware of it. Every year, you should get a credit report at least once a year. Take your time and read your credit report. Read your credit report so you know how many times what you have on your credit report. Because in this day of technology and we shopping everywhere, somebody can, and you see it on the news, take your credit, they can put something on it that's wrong. Check your credit report annually. Check your score if you're interested in your score. I don't recommend doing that because you have to pay for that and you don't really need it. The person who is going to give you credit is the one that needs it and they pay for it, which is the banks or the financial institutions, and they pay a flat rate for it every year. So the only thing you need to do is to get the credit report, not a credit score. You see on TV that advertising, oh my score, and everybody jumps. It's $30. It's $29. It's $40. They pay to get that score. So don't jump into on that bandwagon. It's not important for you to know the score. What is important for you to do is to be diligent and pay your credit cards on time. And always, always make sure you pay more than the minimum. Certainly a lot more. And if you go that far, have the money ready to pay it off. This is why next week, I want to talk to you guys about an emergency account. what is an emergency account and what you can do with an emergency account, what is the purpose of an emergency account, and the unrealistic amount that should be in the emergency account varies for everybody. You have to find it. You have to get there. It's important because your credit card is not your emergency account. If you own a car and you have a flat tire on the highway, or your car stalls, or you have a house and your furnace goes, or a window is broken, or something else happens in your home, or somebody in your family is sick in another country and you need to send them money, your Visa card, your credit card is not an emergency account. Your emergency account should be a real account, a bank account. Your credit card, yes, you can use in the case of an emergency. There's a difference because you will not have $500 or $700 to pay the tow truck. Or when the man comes to fix the furnace, you don't have all that money to give them, so you use your credit card. But then you should be able to go to your emergency account and get that money. So I hope you guys understand that. I really hope you understand the billing, the statement date, paying $551.06 by paying $12.12 is not good because it will take you 11 years and 1 month to pay it off. Shop after your statement date. Your statement date goes from the end of 1 month to the end of almost the end of the other month. So mine said 28th of December to this 27th of January. So if I wanted to shop on something that is not live, I can wait and purchase it on the 28th, the 29th, the 30th, the 31st, and I would go maybe till the 3rd of February. And that way, if I'm working for an income, I can pay that off just like that. So the credit card, again, we talk a lot about it, but it's just that so many of you DM'd me about that. And I did not address the statement date, and I did not address last week how long it will take you if you pay the minimum account. Hi, Susie. If you pay the minimum account on your bank account, on your credit card, don't avoid the minimum. Minimum is great, but only for a little while, because if you pay the minimum of $12 and you still owe them $500, they're going to charge you 21% credit for 30 days on that $500. And if next month you shop another $200 and you still have that, so now you are owing like $800. So it might take you 22 to 23 years before you pay off $1,000. It's crazy. But that is how the bank makes the money, and you should know. When you pay them the minimum, hi Rosie, they're going to like you. They love you. You are a cash cow. They look at you like the farmer looks at his cow. Every day I can milk that cow, sell the milk and make money. They trust you. And if you go over the limit on your credit card, they are going to turn around and increase your limit. You know why? They want to keep you in that hole forever. You dig a hole and you're standing in the hole while you're digging it. Eventually, as I said, you will not be able to come out. And you might have to go get a loan, and that doesn't work either. And that is a recurring decimal, 0.33, 0.33, like what they would call a bad penny. So this is on the credit card. And like she said, cash, which is true, Kyogo, cash. Cash is king. So have your emergency account. You can use the credit card. But when you come home, that's what I do. I use my credit card. And when I come home, if I have the money sitting there for something, I just take it and I pay it. I don't care. I just don't want to ever pay interest to them. And yet I worked for them. And then I got benefits from them. But I don't want to give them more of my money. So even, and especially if you believe they are your friend, they make money from you. Your credit card, you have to respect it. It's like a driver's license. If you mess it up, it will mess up your opportunity to buy yourself a home one day. And what we know for sure that gives you wealth and legacy is a house. We know that. It has been proven. What gives you wealth and legacy is a house. In Canada, in Toronto, in Ontario alone, your house will go up by 15 to 18% every year. You don't get that type of return on any other investment. You don't. So you have to protect your credit and have a goal. One day you buy your own home. And your credit, you must be in good standing. Use your credit card. Don't abuse it. Just like you make a U-turn with your driver's license or your drinking and drive, whatever, they'll charge you. The credit card and your driver's license is valuable. Use it, but use it to your benefit. Use the bank's money, not your money. Make your money work for you in the bank. Put your money there. But don't give them more than you want to give them. If you cannot afford to pay it off, don't buy it. Start a savings. A lot of people are saying to you guys, if you owe money, or pay off your debt first before you start saving. That is rubbish. That is utter rubbish. Don't do that. Because that is where you get in trouble. Just think about it. I much prefer that you pay $10, you save $10 every week. $10 every week for 52 weeks is $520. If you make it $20, if you make it $20, you're going to get, $1,040. Now, that might seem a little bit of money, but here is the kicker. So if you have a debt, and the debt is this big, and your savings account is that small, and then all of a sudden, you're working hard and you're paying the debt down, but you're saving $10 all of the time over there. And then all of a sudden, something happens. And you have to get some money. If you have no savings, you're going to take the credit card and you're going to increase the debt again. I have it on my WordPress on Controlling the Debt Monster. So you have spent 3 years paying down your credit card, 3 years. And you have 1 year left to pay it off in full. And an emergency comes knocking. And you have nothing in the savings account because somebody told you on TV, save and pay the debt. Don't say, pay the debt. Don't say, that's rubbish. If you save $10 and they tell you most emergency for an ordinary human being like me and you, a flat tire, all of a sudden your brakes is not working and you have to take it to the mechanic. He says $500. But last year, you saved $10 every week for 52 weeks. Guess what? You have $500 in your emergency account. So you take that $500 and you pay him. And you still, next week, $10 is going to go back in, you start again. But your debt, you did not open it. You did not use your credit card and make it bigger. It stayed the same. They tell you that an emergency is between $1,000 and $1,500. Most emergencies that happen to the ordinary human being, $1,000 and $1,500. So if you can save $30 a week for 52 weeks, look at what you have. But if something happens, you will be able to pay down that debt because you have been paying down that debt, and you might be putting $50 every 2 weeks towards that debt and $20 towards your savings. So your debt was this big, you brought it to here. The saving was this big, you brought it a little bit. But at least when this emergency came, you could take that little saving, knock off the emergency out of the way, and next week, $20, $10 every week automatically. And you keep paying down the debt. So when that year comes and that debt is zero, you know what I tell my people I coach to do? Take that money and save it. Pretend you didn't have it and put it now. So instead of you saving $10 a week, you're saving $120 a month because you're paying $50 every 2 weeks. You can even say, okay, I'll save $60 and I'll keep $50 that I can spend to buy some things that I don't normally buy. But when you take the debt out of your life, credit card debt out of your life, it's like somebody taking a yoke off your shoulder. Because you go to sleep, I have to pay the credit card. I have to pay the credit card. It's like a mortgage. When you have a mortgage and you pay off that mortgage, freedom. All that money is yours to do what you want. You can save it, put it in your children's education. You can take it to go on vacation. You guys heard Kathleen this week. She talks about that. She's a single mother with a child. And she came on because somebody had promised to come on and they didn't. And she was happened to drop in and I had a conversation with her. And she told you guys she's on the spending plan. And she said, everything is paid for. Gas in my car, food in my house, all my bills is paid for, and I have $40 in my pocket. I have all my groceries, I pack my lunch and I go. She said, I have $40 and I don't have to worry. It doesn't matter what I do with that $40 every week because it has nothing to do with running my life. It's my extra money. So if my daughter sees something at the dollar store and she wants it, I can get it from there. And even her daughter activities money, she has put it aside already. So this is what it is. Please try to get a spending plan in place. And I would love to teach you guys that. But next week, I am going to talk about the emergency account a little bit more and tell you how to start it and when to use it. And the different types of accounts I always advocate you have or recommend. You need a children's activity account or a child's activity account. For the books, for the this, what is not normal. You need a vacation account. You need to put something in an education account if you have a child. You need to have a retirement account if you're a human being and you're getting older. You need something to give you the plus. Your pension from the government will help you live. Your retirement account will help you soar. You understand? So you're sure you're going to get your Social Security, Canada pension plan, old age pension, all of that. That will keep you your daily expenses. But if you want to travel, if you want to buy something wonderful for your children or your grandchildren, or if you want to go out to dinner with your friends, that's your retirement account after 60, 70, whenever old you are. You can use that to help you to soar just a little bit higher. Because the regular pensions from the government or from your job, they cover your daily expenses. Your retirement is the fun money. That 401k is your fun money. So that is money to make you do a little bit more. Get your hair done, get your nails done. You don't have to go working at 70 years old at Walmart or Target to pay it or at whatever, to pay for those little things. And that's what it is. So next week we'll be doing that. So tonight, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I just tried to fit it in. And have a wonderful night. Thanks for dropping in. It was such a pleasure seeing Susie and Rosie and Yoko and Drizo, and I don't even know how many of you were in, but it was a pleasure. Tomorrow night is Ask Me a Question night. And with Movement Makers, I am ready for an interview when you're ready. We have to do this video, so get cracking, ladies, and let us see what we can do. So have a wonderful evening and talk to you guys again. Love, bye. Take care of yourself and see you tomorrow morning, Yoko, on Tessa-Marie Morning Blessing. Thank you, Yoko. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks. Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye.